The Mandalorian is, and please stay with me when I say this, not a perfect show. I mean, I would go as far as to say that it might be bad. I don't know, like at least some of the episodes are objectively not good. The show can be shoddy. There's bad acting, bad dialogue, bad plots. But yet, despite its imperfections, the show is popular. Despite everything I've said, I love the show. And I think that's because, put simply, the show is wonderful. What do I mean by that? Flashback with me real quick and look at a different show first.
Just remember who's standing in your way. Remember, every black day I ever stopped you.
Nothing's perfect. Have to take the rough with the smooth.
Hello, I'm the Doctor.
When I was in middle school, I fell in love with Doctor Who. I bought the DVDs, had my own sonic screwdriver, wore bow ties. It consumed my life for a time. But in a way, I think that made me a better person. First of all, while often ridiculous, the show tends to carry a positive message. The Doctor wants to heal things. He wants to lessen the total amount of suffering in the universe, which is admirable and inspiring. But in retrospect, the show is pretty silly. The special effects are bad, the acting can be hit or miss, the plots are often so incoherent they require a friend who's more into the show to explain what even happened. Nonetheless, I recently returned to the show while snowed in on Christmas. It was just about what I expected. It wasn't good, it had all the things I listed before, but the show and all its faults were surprisingly wonderful. And I mean that in the most literal sense of the word, full of wonder. That feeling when the moment absorbs you, your eyes widen, a smile stretches across your face. Even after the screen fades to black, you feel like you've experienced something important. You've gained a new perspective, or you've just returned from being spirited away. I guess part of it's nostalgia. I remember how I felt when I first watched the show, when I was less judgmental and less aware of its faults. But I think its wonderful nature is the reason I'm nostalgic. There's a theory about why life seems to pass by faster as you grow older. The idea is that as you age, you have fewer novel experiences, and novel experiences are what make an impact on your memory. The more new memories you make, like visiting a new place, falling in love, or crying because of a Doctor Who episode, the slower your perception of time. Doctor Who was wonderful. I remember where I was the first time I watched many of the episodes because they were so impactful. And while watching the show this past Christmas, I thought about The Mandalorian. Like Doctor Who, the show has its faults, but it's still wonderful. If you watch my past 2 video essays, I talk about character obstacles, complex plots, different ways to respond to conflict, and how those things can improve a story. The Mandalorian doesn't have any of those things. The Mandalorian's plot is simple. Mando makes simple decisions that often lead to senseless violence. His only real obstacle is that other people want Baby Yoda.
I would like to see the baby.
And yes, I know he has a name now, but he'll always be Baby Yoda to me.
Baby Yoda, baby Yoda, baby Yoda.
But still, there are moments in The Mandalorian that made my jaw drop. And not just things that played off my nostalgia, which is an important distinction. The Mandalorian isn't wonderful because it reminded me of watching Star Wars as a kid. It has its own magic to it. To pull the curtain back a bit, when I write these videos, I try to include actionable advice. If I'm talking about a movie or TV show, I don't want to focus on special effects or soundtrack because this channel is for writers. I want to find something to point at in a story that you can learn from. But it gets hard to give advice about something as abstract as wonder. So is this video about how to create wonder in your writing? No, I don't think so, because it's hard to capture what produces wonder.
Yeah, you did it! What do you think? Isn't it cool?
I can point at wonderful things, but if I tell you why they are the way they are, I don't think you could recreate the feeling without copying what I said word for word.
And I give you a choice. Come with me to the end and the beginning, or struggle here a while like a beautiful autumn leaf.
What's that bell sound?
Like most things in writing, wonder is incredibly subjective. You will find wonder in different things than I will.
All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us.
But the magic of writing is finding those moments and showing them to someone else. So here comes the actionable advice. Pay attention when you feel that feeling. When you're reading a book or watching a movie and that feeling hits you, write it down. Take a mental note. This movie made my eyes widen and my heart beat in a way that made me forget I was a person for a second. How did they do that? To be filled with wonder is to be emotionally vulnerable. And that takes practice. The more you look for it, though, the more you'll be in tune with your own sense of wonder. It's easier to find if you're looking for it and ready to swallow it up. And when you're in touch with your sense of wonder, let it fall out of you and onto the page. You'll be able to feel when you're being pulled towards it by your characters, so follow them. They know the feeling just as well as you do, because you've practiced. You've looked for wonder in everything, and now you're finding it once again, but this time, by your own creation. Will you have the score and effects budget like The Mandalorian? No, probably not, but you don't need it. The written word can evoke wonder just as well, and sometimes even better with practice. I walked through the store the other day, and there's an entire section of toys for the Mandalorian. You can buy Baby Yoda and all of his serotonin-inducing cuteness, and you could see that stuff as plastic garbage produced by a media giant solely concerned with making money, but you could also see it as a result of something that's instilled wonder in people. Just like me, kids will grow up watching The Mandalorian and experience that feeling. The feeling that will bring them to that place where magic is possible. The feeling that opens you up to beauty and emotion and terror and pain. And although they will grow up like we all have, they will remember the wonder, just like we do. I think that's our ultimate goal as writers. We don't say it often, but it's there. We don't just want to hold people's attention. We don't just want to make a living writing. We don't just want to write.
You're saying to somebody, come with me and I will say things to you that nobody else will say.
We want to inspire wonder.
You can see the eyes open, the complexion changes, life possibility has opened there.
Open yourself up to it. If you can, let the judgment fade away for a while. Search for wonder wherever you can find it. Let it teach you to inspire. And it's wonder that will stick in the mind of the reader. The wonder you create will be a novel experience that, for a moment, will slow the passage of time. And if you can, even for just a moment, bring wonder into someone's life, you should do it. Now go write. Thanks for watching. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked this video, which is brought to you by Campfire Blaze, the perfect tool for planning and writing your story. You can check it out for free. There is a link down in the description. They have timelines, character sheets, everything you need for your story. This video was written and edited by me, Levi Johnson, with help from Cole Field. Thanks again for watching. You're the best. You're just a little guy, aren't you? He's just a little guy.